Welcome back to Inglés 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Intermediate. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the program. Here we are in Intermediate class number 178. Getting started with a review looking at the structure we saw yesterday, have been able to, and the present perfect of to be able to. No he podido hacer mucho deporte últimamente. I haven't been able to do much sport lately. This is a very British structure, to do sport. In North America, we say sports. To play sports. In Britain, they say to do sport. But regardless of where you're from, we never say to practice sport. If you are a professional, if you play professional football, you do have to practice to get better. But when you go out and you're playing games, you're playing sports or doing sport, but not practicing sport. Okay? Podrán hacerlo mañana. They'll be able to do it tomorrow. Now, I'll ask you a few questions. Give me an affirmative answer. Have you been able to eat well lately? Yes, I've been able to eat well lately. Have you been able to sleep well this week? Yes, I've been able to sleep well this week. Have you been able to get a lot of work done lately? Yes, I've been able to get a lot of work done lately. Have you been able to study English as much as you'd like lately? Yes, I've been able to study English as much as I'd like lately. Ask me if I've been able to travel as much as I'd like to over the last few months. Kyle, have you been able to travel as much as you'd like, or as much as you'd like to, either way, over the last few months? Over the last few months. So present perfect. Over the last few months. We have to use present perfect here because we're talking about a period of time that started in the past and continues up to the present inclusive over the past few months. So, have you been able to? Yes, I have. I've been able to travel quite a bit. I've been able to travel enough over the last few months. Ask me if I've been able to go to the gym this week. The gym, el gimnasio. Hey, Kyle, have you been able to go to the gym this week? No, I haven't been able to go to the gym this week. Not yet. Later in the week I'll go, but not yet this week. I've been very busy. Yes. Now, we saw a structure yesterday. I'm calling on behalf of Vaughan Systems. And then you said, could you spell that for me? So this is important. On the telephone, could you spell that for me, please? Could you spell that for me, please? Yes, that's V-A-U-G-H-A-N. Could you spell that for me, please? Okay. So now I'll say, I'm calling on behalf of, and I'd like you to ask me to spell it. And then I'd like you to write down the spelling. Okay? I'm calling on behalf of Fitzgerald Industries. Could you spell that for me, please? Oh, sure. That's F-I-T-Z-G-E-R-A-L-D. Fitzgerald. F-I-T-Z-G-E-R-A-L-D. Industries. Did you get that right? Fitzgerald. Now, notice I said F-I-T-Z. There's Z and there's also Z. And a lot of English, basically every English teacher that is not Canadian will tell you that the Z is British and in the pronunciation Z is American. And that's true. But as Canadians, we usually use the American pronunciation. But this is a case where we go with the British or the non-American, as in anyone who's not from the United States of America will say Z. Z. Okay, I'm calling from the LaRock Group. What? Can you spell that for me, please? Could you spell that for me, please? Sure. That's Laroque. QUE. LaRoque. That's the LaRoque Group. I'm calling from Wilkinson Incorporated. Excuse me, could you spell that for me, please? Sure, that's WILKINSON. WILKINSON. I'm calling from Zwicker Incorporated. Huh. Could you spell that for me, please? Yes, that's ZWICKER Incorporated. Zwicker. I'm calling from Langell Services. Could you spell that for me, please? Sure. Yes, that's LANGILLE. Now, how did you spell Fitzgerald? The spelling was FITZGERALD. And the second word was LaRoque. LAROCQUE. The surname, that is. And the third surname was Wilkinson. WILKINSON. And the fourth one was Zwicker. ZWICKER. And the last name was Langell. LANGILLE. Langell. Yes. All right, so hopefully you're doing well with spelling and comprehension of these names. Let's move on now and take a look at our word of the day. Word of the day. Our word of the day, well, you've got a bonus here. What a deal. 3 words for the price of 1. Here we have every other day, que es un día sí, un día no. Every other day. Alternating days, but we say every other day. So what is something that you do every other day? For example, me, I wash my hair every other day. I shower every morning, but I don't wash my hair every day because if I do, I find it gets very dry. So I wash my hair every other day. Un día sí, un día no. Every other day. What is something that you do every other day? I probably have a sandwich every other day. I have sandwiches often, but not every day. On average, I would say I have a sandwich every other day. Yes. I drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever cola product. I'm not sponsoring any brand here, but I drink cola beverages every other day. Yeah, not every day. Not every 1 in 3. No. Probably about every other day. So there we go with our word of the day, every other day. Let's move on now and take a look at class number 178, getting started with the verb to mean. To mean, which is significar. To mean, what does that mean? ¿Qué significa? Or also, querer decir. What do you mean? What do you mean when you say that? So, puede significar decir en serio. Por ejemplo, I mean it. I mean it. Lo digo en serio. Eh? I mean it. But really, to mean, what does it significar? Does perhaps mean the same as maybe? I'll tell you something about this. Perhaps and maybe. They mean the same thing. They mean the same thing. But maybe is used probably 50 times more often. And of all the times I've said maybe in the last year, probably 98, maybe and perhaps. If I add them together, all the occasions, then I take, I look at the percentage. Probably 98% of all those occasions were maybe. 2% was perhaps. So think of that, because I think it's very important for us as English teachers, and for you for us as English teachers to explain the frequency that we actually use words versus their synonyms, let's say. Because if you learn from a grammar book exclusively, which many of my students have done, and I have a lot of students who use perhaps and maybe at the same frequency, but in reality, native speakers use maybe 50 times more often than perhaps. So I always tell my students to banish the word perhaps from their vocabulary, which is not necessarily good advice, but it gives them the idea, oh my gosh, Kyle really doesn't like the word perhaps. And that's right, I don't. I don't like it because we don't use it very often. We use it occasionally, but not very often. Use the word perhaps when you're talking to the boss, when you're proposing. Perhaps you could consider this option, Mr. Smith. You're proposing an idea and you're trying to be very polite. Perhaps. But otherwise, maybe. 9 times out of 10, 98 times out of 100, right? We use maybe instead of perhaps. So they mean, the point here, the verb to mean, they mean essentially the same thing. Have you ever said something you didn't mean to say? Have you ever said something you didn't mean to say? We all have. I'm sure we all have. There's a song that I know by a Canadian group that I like. The song is called She Says What She Means. And there's a line in the song, it's a clever play on words, or it says, she says what she means, and she means what she says. When she says that I'm mean, does she mean what she says? There you go. So when she says that I am mean, in this case, mean is not nice, not poco agradable, you could say, not very agradable, not very simpático, not very friendly. You're mean. The line again was, she says what she means and she means what she says. When she says that I mean, does she mean what she says? So there you go. The verb to mean, it can also mean tener la intención. Por ejemplo, I meant to do it. Okay, I did it. Oh, I meant to do that. Did you mean to do that, or was it by accident? If you do something intentionally, we say you meant to do it. Otherwise, you did it by accident. Oh, I broke the plate. I dropped it by accident, of course. I didn't mean to break it. I dropped it. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. So the verb to mean, we'll review this tomorrow, but let's move on now because I want to get through all the content today. So let's take a look at our vocabulary of the day. Vocabulary of the day. All right, it is time for the vocabulary of the day. Our first word today is orilla, which is shore. The shore, yes, the shore, which is essentially the coast where the land meets the water. Deposito, tank, T-A-N-K, a tank. El contenido, the contents. Estar dispuesto a, to be willing to. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to make the effort required to learn English? I hope you're willing to do it. Estar dispuesto a. If you're willing to do something, it doesn't mean that you're capable. I'm willing to do a lot of things that I'm not capable of doing and that I may never have the opportunity to do. I'm willing to walk on the moon, but I'll never walk on the moon because I don't think NASA or any other organization will give me the opportunity. But I'm willing to do it. If someone gives me the opportunity, I will do it. Yeah, I'm serious. So if any of you that are listening have the ability, I would love to go. If anyone works for NASA, I'd be happy to go. And it would be an interesting topic. If I came back from the moon, I could make a great few radio shows talking about it, I'm sure. So if anyone has the connections and would like to send me to the moon, I would like you to know that I am willing to go. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to travel to the moon, to be willing to. Infinitive. Okay? Dividir. Now we have, everyone is saying, divide, Kyle, divide. But yes, that's right. But also to split. S-P-L-I-T, split. We'll split the money. Imagine if we win a substantial portion of money, or with a lottery, for example, you split it. If you buy a lottery ticket, if you share a lottery ticket with someone else, well, if you both win, well, you have to split the winnings. You have to split the prize. We also have a very famous dessert, the banana split, which is a banana cut down the middle, filled with ice cream, chocolate sauce. Fantastic. Banana split. All right, now as we move on into the last portion of the program today, we have que para. I'm trying to. We have the dot there. What for? ¿Para qué hizo eso? What did he do that for? ¿Para qué está ella haciendo eso? What is she doing that for? ¿Para qué han venido aquí? What have they come here for? What have they come here for? Now, in the answer, what have they come here for? Oh, they have come here to improve their English. We would use the to. They have come here to improve their English. What do you listen to this show for? What do you listen to this show for? So always with for in the question. But the answer, if it's a specific case, we would use to. What do you listen to this show for? I listen to this show to improve my English, Kyle. What is this show for? This show, what is it for? This show is for improving your English. You listen to this show to improve your English. What do I host this show for? Oh, Kyle, you host this show to help us improve your English, or our English, I should say. So when we talk about this specific case, we use to. For example, a stapler is for stapling papers. I use my stapler to staple papers. Okay? A bottle opener is for opening bottles. What's a bottle opener for? A bottle opener is for opening bottles. A bottle opener is for opening bottles. I use my bottle opener to open bottles. A cigarette lighter is for lighting cigarettes. I use my cigarette lighter to light candles because I don't smoke. A lawnmower is for mowing lawns. Una máquina corta césped. A lawnmower. A lawnmower is for mowing lawns. I use my lawnmower to mow lawns. Not in Spain, but in Canada I did. I think I said it on the show the other day. No, it was I think it was the advanced portion, but I mentioned when I was 15 or 14, I started mowing lawns with my lawn mower. All right, we've run out of time, but we'll review all this material and so much more tomorrow at the same time. But I do recommend that you stay tuned and listen to the advanced portion of today's class. I'll be back right after the break here on Vaughn Radio. Keep listening. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.